is Crystal, and I'm back with week 46 in my 2018 Project Life album. I have my photos already printed and trimmed, and I am using the Citrus Twist Kit's November Pocket Life Kit. At least that's what I'm going to start with, and we'll see how it goes from there. I may pull in a few other bits and pieces as we get going. I haven't looked through any of it. It's been a while since I've used the kit or really any of my supplies. I've just been feeling like I've lost my mojo a little bit. I've been in a crafting slump, so I'm hoping just to get through this without too much trouble and get these last few weeks of my album finished up. So I am going to put you on fast forward and get started. So this spread did end up taking me quite a bit longer than normal. I just was having a hard time getting it right. I didn't like the balance of things. I wasn't feeling like I was in the zone, like I was comfortable with how it was turning out. But at least when that sort of thing happens, I do have a formula, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just following that formula. So I start with my photos, I lay them out across the spread where I think I'm going to want them based on balance, on the size of the photos, on the heaviness of the photos, that sort of thing. And then I go through the cards in the kit and find ones that work well with the photos that I have. So I'm looking at the colors in the photos and the subject matter of the photos and finding cards that I think will match the tone and stories that I have to tell with the photos. So I've done that. I've gone through the 3x4 cards and picked out ones that I liked, and now I'm just looking for one to cover up that top right corner. So that's just a screenshot of our weather from one day this week, and it's not a pretty thing to see, so I know I want to put something over the top of it and create a flip page so that you can just lift it up and see the weather underneath it, but it's not right in your face when you look at the spread. So I tried several different papers, and I end up using this bit from the die cuts from this kit, and it fits perfectly over the top of that photo, so that's what I'm going to go with. And now I'm just going through the die cuts, and as I do pretty much every week, picking out ones that I think might work and just plopping them down on the page, and then I'll go back through and edit them later on. So I'm just looking for things that are in the same color scheme, that have sentiments that work well with the stories I'm telling, that sort of thing. Just quickly flipping through the whole pack and picking out the ones that maybe will work. I always pick out lots of labels, more than I think I'll need, just because I do end up using a lot of them usually, and I like to have options, so I'm doing that as well. And then once I've finished with the die cuts, I'll move on to the other embellishments. So I started with these chipboard pieces because I really wanted to get some of those included on this spread. So I'm choosing 3 hearts. I like to work in threes. That's another formulaic way of working with Project Life. That kind of falls apart in this spread. Normally I keep a balance of color and of embellishments in groups of 3s, and that really helps make the whole spread feel cohesive. But like I said, I was out of my comfort zone. I was not in the zone, and that whole theory kind of falls apart by the end of the spread. But it worked out fine. It's not my favorite spread ever in the end, but it's fine, and most importantly, it's done and it's documented. So again, just looking through the other embellishments, I decided to try a piece from the cut apart sheet. That's the sheet that comes free with each kit, and I just printed that at home just on regular cardstock, and I cut out a little piece because I think I want to use it on what's going to end up being basically just a filler card in the bottom left corner of my spread. So I'm looking at those puffy stickers too and trying to figure out how I can work some of those into the layout because I really love them. But while I'm thinking of that, I am working on something that I pretty much know how I want it to be. So I have that die cut on this photo that says loving this, and I'm adding one of the chipboard hearts and then just a few lines of journaling below that. Same with this photo. I pretty much knew how I wanted it to go, so I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that down. And these pockets that I'm using are slightly smaller than 3 inches wide, so I always have to trim things down. I happen to remember to do that at the beginning this time. I usually have to go back through at the end and trim them, but I remember to do it, so I got that taken care of. And I'm working on my title card. So the green alphas that came in this kit didn't really go with the colors I had chosen. So I went back through my other puffy alphas and I found these gray ones from Pink Fresh Studio that I really like. So I'm using those to spell out week 46. And then I'm going to use this blue label to add my dates with my roller date stamp. And that blue echoes the other blues in the spread. So right now there is a triangle of blue on the spread, but I change it so it doesn't stay that way. Okay, so going back to this cut apart sheet, I'm looking for a label that I can put on the photo next to my title card. It's a photo of my dog Abby with a whole pile of toys, and I have just a little story I want to tell about that picture. So I was looking for a label and I found one in gray, which I liked because again it added that triangle of gray with the card on the bottom and the embellishment on the card in the middle. Always looking for that balance of color. So I added that, and it had a little geotag on it, but I just covered it with the chipboard heart that I had pulled out for that spread. Now moving on to this flip pocket. So to make it, I'm just going to take some washi tape, and here is my stash of washi tape, newly organized. If I found one that will work with the colors, and I'm just going to add a strip of it to the top of the journal card or the die cut piece, and then add the photo beneath it, making sure to have it lined up the correct way. And I just leave a little bit of space between the two so that there's room for it to fold over without interfering with each other. And then the photo will go in the pocket and the card will just be outside of the pocket and will flip up so you can see the photo beneath it. And then I just added that little tab to the bottom to indicate that this is something that you can flip up that's interactive. Okay, so I'm moving on to this middle photo of a stack of books and this journal card from the kit that says this chapter feels really good was perfect for this photo. So I added that and then that little heart die cut as well. And then I'm going to add just a couple lines of journaling, again right to the photo, using my favorite gel pen. They work really well on these photos, so I like to use those. And still kind of contemplating what else to do with the spread. I think I'm looking at that filler card at the bottom and wondering what I can do with it, but just not sure yet. So I'm going to work on this middle card on the bottom row. I have a photo of our grocery delivery, and I wanted just to talk about how nice it is to have groceries delivered to our doorstep. That's a huge time saver. So I added that pink die cut because I wanted to add more pink to the spread, and then added the photo to the bottom, and I'm adding just a couple lines below the sentiment on this die cut, and it just says online grocery shopping, yes. And then I just added a staple to the top of that. I'm looking through the alphas again. I'm not really sure what I was planning to use them for. I don't end up using any more alphas. Oh, I think I was thinking of adding a sentiment to that top card, the flip up card, but I'm going to end up stamping on it instead. So you'll see that here in a little bit. I'm looking at the stamps that came in the kit, and then that was the scrapbook kit from this month as well. So I remembered that I had that. I pulled it out to see if there was anything in it that I really wanted to use. I don't end up using anything, I think, but the stamp for that from that kit. Yeah, I'm going to add a little stamp sentiment to the bottom of this label that says just the right mix of chaos and love, which I love. I love that sentiment. And it seems to fit our life, our home right now, or always pretty much. So I added that just in black ink, and then I'm going to change my mind here and not use that blue die cut that I had cut from the cut apart sheet, and instead use a little heart that says home on it. And so I'm going to cut that out and then adhere it to the top of that label. So I really want to include more of these puffy stickers, and I'm just working out how I might get a few more on the page. There is one that I think will work on that top flip-up card, so I was holding it up there to see if it would fit in the space that I wanted to put it. And then there is this little arrow that says magic that will work on this picture of Abby enjoying the snowfall. And this one says it's weathering, which seemed really perfect for the photo of our actual weather from this week. And now I'm going to grab a stamp set to stamp out a sentiment on this card. So this is a Dear Lizzie alphabet stamp. It's not from, I think it may be from Stay Colorful. Don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure which collection. It's not new. It's a bit older, but it's one of my favorites. I really love this font. So I'm going to stamp out I Hate Winter. And I started in the middle of the bottom word because I wanted to get it spaced correctly, or in the place where I wanted it to be. So I start there, and I don't do a perfect job, but it turns out okay. It's decently centered. And it does take a little bit of time to get it down, but that's okay. I've sped this up for you so that you don't have to watch it in real time. That would be boring. And there you go. So that's going to be it for that card. That one is all done now. And that's going to be it for the spread as well. Here is the spread all done, and there are some more close-up photos coming up. I hope you enjoyed watching this process and found some inspiration here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you back here soon.